Welcome to the July meeting of the Canfield Schools Board of Education. It's nice to have a crowd. I think we're going to move to have the recognition to the end so we can keep everybody here. What do you think? All right.
Well, they would appreciate it.
As we always open our meeting, if you would join me in standing and pledging to the flag.
Roll call.
Yeah, roll call. That's what I said. Roll call. Let's get the hang of this.
Mr. Olson, President.
Oh, I'm here.
Mr. Fry, Vice President.
Present.
Mr. Bova.
Here.
Mr. Kessner. Here. Mrs. Stewart, President.
Now?
Oh.
Now we're going to do it.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Since we have reorganized our meeting to recognize the retirees at the beginning, I would ask for a motion to accept the revised agenda for tonight's meeting.
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please, Mrs. Kessner.
Mr. Bova.
Yes.
Mr. Fry.
Yes.
Mr. Kessner.
Yes.
Mrs. Stewart. Yes. Mr. Olson.
Yes. That said, Mr. Jordan.
Well, it's always bittersweet when we have folks that have given so much time and effort to not only educating our youngsters in the classroom, but also getting them to and from school safely, feeding them in the cafeteria, making sure buildings are clean, the whole aspect of what education is about, especially public education at that, saying that. We definitely wanted to maybe reinstitute a tradition in having retirees at a July board meeting and giving them something special, a token of our appreciation as a board. And Mr. Olson, I'm going to turn it over to you, and just so you can maybe announce some folks, and if you would come up and receive something from the board, we would appreciate that.
Mrs. Bailey, I know this is going to be embarrassing, but you can face that way. Marion Bailey, just to give, thank you. Just a quick 30-second what you've been doing for yeah, you got to tell us what you've been doing.
Well, it's been a great time taking my third graders out of town. That's been the biggest highlight.
How long have you been teaching third grade?
34 and a half years, and
Good
it's just
start.
been hard to delete right now. I'm still on summer vacation. It's kind of like a back to school sales. I'm going, I don't have to do that now. So, it's just a different time in my life, I guess.
Well, thank you so much
thank you
for
so
everything. Debbie Foote. Hi, Debbie. Now you have to do the same thing. How many years, and where you been, and
I've been teaching 39 years, 23 at the last 23 here at Canfield, working with the special needs unit at Hilltop Elementary. And
you have
a lot of
incredible
good memories.
patience. I know. Thank you so much. Is Susan Henderson here?
She wasn't able to.
No, she's not. Okay. But we'll thank her anyhow. Mr. Izzo, you notice you're only one of 3 guys with the tie. And Jeremy, you would expect it. Give us a rundown of all where we started and where we ended in robotics and the likes. Just a few.
Been here 30 years, started in industrial arts downstairs, ended up with technology upstairs, and I can honestly say that I can remember when this was all farmland, and it's changed quite a bit. So.
But you do hear the chicken, the
Yes,
rooster every
the
morning, right?
yes.
We're going to keep that there. Thank you very much. Sue Martin. Sue is not here. Okay. Yvonne Moore. Mrs. Moore, it's been a few years.
Yeah.
Tell us what you've taught.
I've taught for 37 years, 34 being here in Canfield. Started out in special education and been teaching 6th grade for 18 years. So looking forward to just spending time with my husband and grandchild, and looking forward to the rest of my life.
Well, thank you for accepting all my kids, too. I have to say, all I heard when the kids came home was, oh my, I got Mrs. Moore. Is she tough? Speaking of tough, Kathy Mowry. You've been here a few years yourself,
I
haven't you?
have been here a few
Okay,
years.
well, you got to tell everybody here.
I have been teaching for 40 years. I'm in my 40th year. I am lucky enough to teach everything from birth to death. Special ed, regular ed, high school, elementary, preschool, kindergarten, high school, and everything else in between. So it's been a joy the last 15 years to be here, and I have enjoyed every moment.
Now, you made it to, did you make it to CH? You made it to every other building?
I've been to
here.
every building in the district except CH.
Well, would you go your last few days, would you just stop
I
over
went
there?
last year, I went 2 years ago and mentored Travis. Does that count?
Yes, she made it home. Thank you. And last but certainly not least, Mrs. Williams, you'll have to sing for this.
I've taught music here in Canfield for 35 years, and some in every building. And it has been really an honor to work and make music with the children. And now I'm going to continue to make music at my church, where I have
Good.
a job.
So just tell me one thing, what one of your kids that you've had, have they gone on to make it in the music world somewhere?
I don't know any specifics about that, but
Well, you need to find out and report back.
That is right. There was a comment on Facebook just today about one of my students who was on production in Toledo, Ohio, and I got a little thank you for that, so on Facebook. So.
Thank you very much.
That's okay.
Thank
But
you.
we plant seeds, see?
There you go.
And then it does what it does.
On behalf of the board, we want to thank everybody. Everybody in your buildings are certainly going to miss you guys. Stay in touch. And in the meantime, we'd like to have take a moment and have a little celebratory cake.
We have some
more.
classified employees.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I not make the? Oh, I am so sorry. Elaine back. I didn't turn over the fold. I take that back about the cake. Hey, you have to do the same thing, Elaine. How many years? No, I don't.
Expecting all this.
I know, but you just tell me anyhow. How many years?
Been driving bus for 25 years. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of my parents had too.
Now, which one of the board members' kids were the worst that you had?
No, I enjoyed all my kids. I really did. I'm really going to miss them. The last day, a couple of them were on their hands and knees. Please, Mrs. Beckman, please. But, you know, it's time for me to go. I have a grandchild to have fun with, and my daughter's there adopting a child in January. So
We can set up a play date
Oh,
here.
no, I'll see you in Cook
I know you
City,
will.
so-
That's right. Good to see you. Thank you very much. Judith Boyer? Not here. George? Chichek? Oh, there you are. You got to do it too, George.
Okay.
Tell us about it.
All right, well, I drove school bus for 22 years, and I missed the little ones. That's it.
Okay, well, that's good. Thank you, George. And the other half of the Hilltop team, Mrs. Polly, would you like to come up? Boy, we're wiping out Hilltop, aren't we? Jeez.
It's going to be a new place. Elaine won't be there. George won't be there. Kathy won't be there, and I won't be there.
I certainly know, but
We're going to visit.
I'll be hearing from Tom about your being home all the time, I'm sure.
I'm sure you will.
How many years have you been
Thank
there
you.
now?
I've been there since 1994.
Oh, now we have to do math.
19.
Quick.
Yes.
2013 minus 94.
19 years.
Oh, my gosh. Well, thank you for everything you've done, and we'll try to keep your husband occupied so he doesn't bother you in your retirement.
I appreciate
Okay,
that.
thanks so much. Now, Seeing no other names, Elaine, behind you is a piece of cake, which you can just have one piece of it. But we all want to take a minute and thank everybody and spend a few minutes in enjoying some cake, and then we'll get back to the meeting. So thanks to everyone.
Thank you for doing this. This is very, very nice.
What do you mean?
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, all day, everything's going I know. Come on, everybody, get up, get a piece of cake, please. For those retirees and friends of retirees, we will not make you stay for the rest of the meeting, so. I'm good. What's this?
You're allowed to take photos. I swear, I won't take a photo and put it on Facebook or anything. It's a tough one to follow. Especially in this heat.
Do you have anybody that needs hours? Okay. Flags. Okay, I'd like to bring the meeting back to order, not that we ever left it, but I would like to once more adjust the schedule a bit and ask Ivana if you'd like to make your presentation.
My IT guy's getting things ready. Canfield Local Schools has always been on the cutting edge of education. We are a good steward with our taxpayers' money. We were the first district in the Tri-County area to implement an energy conservation program. Our program has saved the district $516,514 during the first 29 months of the program's existence. This represents an energy cost savings of 30.23%. Our expected energy costs without the energy program would have been $1,708,407. Our actual cost for electric, gas, water, and sewer were $1,191,893. The program savings is a result of behavior changes for personnel, reduction in air conditioning, heating, and electrical equipment run times, and synergistics, training, and support. The success of this program is due to teamwork involving all personnel in the district. Comprehensive audits, on-site training from Synergistic, and data analysis using Energy Cap computer software. This software meets the international guidelines for measurement and verification. The IPMVP, International Performance and Verification Protocol, is accepted worldwide as a protocol for measuring and verifying the energy-saving efforts are properly accounted for in terms of dollars. Energy Cap provides an independent verification of our program savings. Benefits from the program include dollars that were once used to pay utility bills are now retained for energy purposes. The program is self-funded. Savings generated through conservation activities pay for the program. We have designated this program to be an ongoing free support from center districts after the paid contract term is finished. The impact on the environment as a result of our energy program is 40,039 MMBTUs of energy reduction, which is equivalent to one of the following: 3,644 greenhouse gases reduction of CO2, 93,427 tree seedling plants grown for 10 years, or 759 passenger cars not driven for 1 year. The program's success is dependent on support from all the personnel in this district. I would like to especially thank Rich Archer, my reporting senior, head custodians, Karen Eastman. Karen, will you please stand? Jerry Cope, Paul Schmidt, Don Adams. I have here Bruce Ware from Hilltop representing Don Adams, and Ed Eastman here is representing Don. And I'd like to thank all of their staff also. George Malich, please. And George Malich Jr., our IT staff. Vicki Latimer, please. Teacher from the middle school. Jeremy Hamilton from the high school. Alyssa Musina, special education. And Linda Magar from Hilltop. Each staff member named contributes beyond the call of duty to help with the success of this program. I would also like to thank all the principals and the rest of the staff for all of their efforts. Energy Star Awards are validation of our energy program success at a national level. We have been an Energy Star partner since 2010. Energy Star certification recognition in reducing greenhouse emissions as a participant in the low carbon IT campaign, and that is work that George worked on. Hilltop Elementary earned Energy Star recognition in October 2012. We received Energy Star Leader Award in 2012 for improving efficiency district-wide by 20%. This year we received Energy Star Leader Award for improving energy efficiency district-wide by 30%. Each week I perform a minimum of 8 to 15 unoccupied or occupied audits. When auditing a building, I check to make sure that all equipment and lighting is off in unoccupied areas. I check boiler temperatures, time of day schedules for the HVAC. I monitor the gas well that provides gas to the high school, and I am continually assessing and reassessing our program. On June 14, 2013, CH Elementary School received Energy Star recognition. They have a 91% efficiency rating for that building. That is how efficient that building is running now. We will have the presentation for that award on August 28th at 7:30 in the evening after the school's open house. In August, the first edition of What's Happening, Do You Know? Will be sent to all staff members. What's Happening will be a weekly email sent to staff members about information with energy, conservation, lesson plans, and important facts about energy savings. We are applying for Energy Star recognition for a second year for Hilltop Elementary. We will continually look for new opportunities to save. Each dollar that is not spent on a utility bill is more dollars that we have to put directly into the education of our students. Thank you.
Rhonda, that's marvelous.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was a quick ending. I wasn't going to. Now it's appropriate to give a round of applause to Rhonda. Mr. Archer. Mr. Archer, did you have this kind of expectation when you originally presented this program?
One of the things, Craig, that we did when we went into this program was we looked at possible savings. Did we think we could come this far this quickly? I don't think we thought we could do that. Did we think we could see substantial savings? Yes. But we have come, I think, very quickly through the help of staff and the support of the board and the administration. We've come very, very quickly, and I'm very proud that we were able to be a part of this program. It has certainly diverted money from the energy and the gas, the electric, back into the district rather than sending it to them. So very pleased with the program.
Now your work continues through the summer?
Oh, I work 365 days a year.
Yeah, I'll bet you do. Yvonne, thank you very much. That's
Okay,
great to get that update.
We do have a special guest.
We have a special guest. I'd like to introduce Mike Bitar. Mike is the regional president from Synergistic, and he'd like to address you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this. I am Mike Bitar with Synergistic. When the partnership happened, for board members who were on the board at that time, and probably, I don't know, how many of you were on the board when this got adopted? Most of you, 3 of you. We weren't Synergistic, were we? It was a different company, Energy Education. I like to tell folks, well, we're not running from creditors. We didn't change our name for that reason, but we're working actually with other entities in addition to education across the country. Real quickly, Synergistic has been doing this for 27 years. We're at over 1,250 clients across the country. 97% of those are K-12 school systems. My background, I was a public school educator for 33 years. Virtually all of it in Michigan, the last 20 as a school superintendent. That's how I got connected when I was in Battle Creek, Michigan. We were the first partner 15 years ago in that state. What you've done, what was shared with you, our average across the country is about 25% consumption reduction. This, I went back and looked to see what the projections were for Canfield, and it was about 23% through 4 years. And as Mr. Archer said, to hit that target, those numbers so quickly is significant. While I'm relatively new in Ohio, I've been with the company for 12 years. When I first came about 8-9 months ago, the person who actually sold and marketed this introduced me to Ivana, and I had only spent maybe about 30 minutes with her at that point in time, and I hadn't met anybody else yet, but it was obvious to me why this is successful. What Mr. Archer said and what Ivana said is absolutely correct. But the folks here, and to have them here, that's what it's about. You don't sprinkle magic dust, but you have to have a point person. And my assumption, I don't know this as a fact, but my assumption, having been to hundreds of schools, districts around the country do this, is that probably wasn't the most popular person with everybody all the time. But I also learned, getting to know Ivana, and I've met with her several times and have seen her, that you know what, you got to have a certain level of thick skin about doing this stuff. But also you have to be sensitive and committed. Let me just share with you real quickly. I think it was Mrs. Moore. Was it Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore just shared with Ivana. I came over and thanked her. She evidently has some asthma issues. And when this program went into effect, the sensitivity and Ivana's focus is saying, we're going to pay attention to your classroom. We're going to make sure from a standpoint of comfort and health-wise it's there. And she thanked her for that focus and sensitivity. That's what it's about. You're in your 4th year of the program. What that means is that after this 4th year, we're not going to share in any of the savings anymore. Now, we like to think ourselves as being altruistic, but we are a for-profit company. We send engineers out, and those things aren't free. But the real key for this is to sustain this over time. 4 years. Once you keep going, we have clients that have been in this program for 18, 19, 20 years. We won't share in 1 penny of the savings after 4 years. Let me repeat that, not 1 penny. As long as you convince this young lady to stay on, and she probably has at least another 15 years to be doing this. But at some point in time, Ivana is going to say, you know what, folks, it's been fun. We will come in, even if it's 5 years down the road, we'll come in and help you select, hopefully, another Ivana. Probably can't find another Ivana, but we'll find someone, and just listening to all this success you've had here, you'll find we'll continue providing that support. I'm here to thank you for the partnership, because when people like yourselves do so well, that's our advertising, folks. Mr. Archer's taken many calls about it. Superintendent Jordan, well, he's just completed his 1st year here, I believe. He'll be taking calls, and as he gets to know the program. But if I may, I'd like to present this and read this and present it to Ivana and let her present it to the board. For conserving our nation's precious resources through the stellar implementation of Synergistic's energy management program and serving as a model of energy conservation to fellow educational organizations, Canfield Local Schools is hereby presented the Energy Pacesetter Award for outstanding environmental and financial resource stewardship. Ivana, to you, to the entire staff, congratulations and thank you, board.
Thank you,
This
Ivana.
goes to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the
Appreciate it.
opportunity of doing this.
Okay, great. And don't be afraid to go after Mike's job. Yeah, I think you can do it. Mike, because you came all the way here today, we have a piece of cake for you. Take that on your way out, which should be now.
Thank you.
Now, I want to give you folks one more opportunity now. We'll keep paring it down. Those interested in hot yoga, stick around. But the rest of you, you may leave if you were here for the energy presentation, or you may stay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Take care.
Are you in my way again? I'm telling you.
Okay, the rest of you have to stay for a while. Moving on, it is our board's policy to not read the minutes of the prior meetings. They are available online should anyone be interested in looking at them. But I will accept a motion to accept the minutes of the June 19th regular meeting, June 28th special meeting, and July 10th special meeting.
So moved. Second?
Any questions or comments? Mrs. Kestner, roll call, please.
Mr. Bova?
Yes.
Mr. Frye?
Yes.
Mr. Kessler?
Yes.
Mrs. Stern?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes. Treasurer's reports, please.
Yes, these would be our year-end financial reports for fiscal year 2013. On the pink financial report by fund report, if you look at the general fund balance, I did comment in my email I sent you with these electronic forms. We had started with a $5.3 million balance. We ended with a $5.2 million balance. So we had a little over $100,000 in deficit spending. If you remember, one of our goals of this strategic plan is to eliminate deficit spending over the 5-year forecast. So keep that in mind as we make plans for the future in trying to accomplish that goal. I don't have any comments on any other funds. Appropriation report. You can see we were real close to 99.6% of what was appropriated we actually spent this year. So we did stay within budget, less than 1% of the budget. So you can see some line items are over and under, but overall we did come within our projections. Check payment register. There were a lot of checks cleaning up year end, but nothing really unusual. I don't know if you have any questions on any items. Most of them you've seen as purchase orders prior to this. And then we're down to about 7 purchase orders carryovers for the year. For one reason or another, we're able to settle by June 30th, so those will carry over, and you'll see them on the next purchase order register. The one that'll be about 25 pages, beginning of the year.
Half a sheet. Only one time a year.
Yeah, one time a year. And then the investment report, first 2 items, no change in the rates at Star Ohio or the money market account at Farmers. There is one change. One of the CDs expired and became due, matured, and replaced it with the Federal Home Loan Bank. You can see there at 1%, which is a pretty good rate, although it's a longer term, but decided to try that since rates have been so low for so long. Any questions?
Questions? Ask for motion to accept the treasurer's reports for June. So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Bova?
Yes.
Mr. Frye?
Yes.
Mr. Kessler?
Yes.
Mrs. Stern? Yes. Mr. Olson?
Yes. For our attendees who are here, we received these in advance and have a chance to look at them. If you have any specific questions, you're always welcome to talk with Mrs. Kessner. She does an outstanding job on keeping the finances in line, and especially with the state continuing to take them out the wrong way. So we also, so you know, we are on the fiscal year. We ended our year June 30th. So we are in the 2013-14 school year effective July 1. Any comments?
No.
None. Moving on. New business.
Okay, thank you. We would like to recommend to accept the resignation of licensed employees at your exhibit number 1, Jennifer Hartman, effective August 31, 2013. Michelle Elias, CHS Intervention Specialist, effective August 31, 2013 as well. I'll move on there. We do want to notify you about a couple transfers. Trina Cackley from 3rd grade CA, or Hilltop, is going to 4th grade Hilltop. We do have a bubble there of an enlarged class, so she is moving with that class. And Mary Kozlowski is coming back from a leave of absence to teach 4th grade at Hilltop because of retirement.
Okay, that said, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, I will entertain a motion to accept the resignations of Jennifer Hartman and Michelle Elia.
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Bova?
Yes.
Mr. Fry?
Yes.
Mr. Kessler?
Yes.
Mrs. Stern?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
I'd like to recommend for hire licensed substitutes at your exhibit.
Just so you all know, the transfer and reassignments, we don't have to make a motion on that because it's an internal move. So we will not be dealing with those, please. Sorry.
No problem. Recommend hiring licensed substitutes at your exhibit number 2, Gary Contini, Sarah Irwin, and Nat Giambattista. Also hiring classified bus driver, exhibit number 3, Michelle Silvestri. That's effective 2013-14 school year at 12/24/10. We'll also recommend for hire classified substitute number 4, Hope Emmerich, as well.
On the recommendation of the superintendent, I'll entertain a motion to hire licensed substitutes Gary Contini, Sarah Irwin, Matt Giambattista, classified bus driver Michelle Silvestri, and classified substitutes Hope Emmerich.
So moved. Second.
Any questions, comments? Mrs. Kestner?
Mr. Bova?
Yes.
Mr. Fry?
Yes.
Mr. Kessler?
Yes.
Mrs. Stern?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Also recommend for hire Ashley Williams, CHS science teacher, effective 2013-14 school year at 34/12. And that's your exhibit 6A. Hannah Snyder, CVMS intervention specialist, effective 2013-14 school year at 34/12 as well. That's your exhibit 6B. Those are just replacing openings. Those are not additional staff members being hired.
On the recommendation of the superintendent, I'll entertain a motion to hire Ashley Williams and Hannah Snyder for the noted positions.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Questions, comments?
Who's Ashley Williams replacing?
She is replacing Paula Roberts, who
Right,
has
so-
taken a supervisory position.
Right,
previously.
so I understand that Roberts was doing some of the AP classes.
That's correct.
Who's taking care of that?
We are going to be in conversation with some staff members to take that responsibility.
Not going to drop the AP, right?
Not going to drop the AP.
Roll call?
Mr. Bova?
Yes.
Mr. Fry?
Yes.
Mr. Kessler?
Yes.
Mrs. Stern?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Recommend to accept the resignation of classified employee Madeline Pauley, Hilltop Elementary Secretary, effective September 1, 2013, at your exhibit number 7.
So moved.
Second.
Wait a minute, can't I say what I'm supposed to say?
No.
All right. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, we will, I'll accept a motion from Mr. Bova to accept the resignation of Madeline Pauley, and I'll accept a second from you as well.
Okay, good.
Any other comments?
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Any comments on Hilltop? We're losing some top people.
Some top-notch people with a lot of years' experience, so we'll have to mentor those folks along the way.
Good, thank you.
Better
Roll
replace
call.
them.
Mr. Bova?
Yes.
Mr. Fry?
Yes.
Mr. Kessler?
Yes.
Mrs. Stern?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes. Well, this is a point, so I get to do that, and I think anything else aside, I would love to ask Mrs. Sturm if she would take the OSBA annual business meeting, be our delegate, and I think she should be our alternate too. That said, I will entertain just an aye. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous, Mrs. Sturm. I will help you if
Congratulations, you got a promotion.
You really do
Yeah.
need an alternate.
I'll help her if she
Ms.
can't.
Wilson will be the alternate.
Yes. Okay, policies and guidelines, sir.
Recommend to approve the fixed asset threshold for 2013-14 as per policy and guidelines, 7455, $2,500 for financial statement reporting, $500 for control and accountability.
Ask for a motion to accept the fixed asset threshold for 2013-14.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. I know I'd like to look really wise here, but what are those?
This is,
Kestner, what are those?
Love the answer.
It's just the level of accounting for fixed assets. So if you purchase a piece of equipment, it's over $500, or it's over $2,500, I put it on the financial statements. It's over $500, I still tag it and keep track of it, but it doesn't actually go as a fixed asset on the financial statements.
And anything under 500 is expensed?
It's a supply item, it's expensed.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Can I ask for a motion?
Not yet.
I'll ask for a motion.
So moved.
Thank you.
No, you already have a motion and a second.
Nice
Oh,
one. You
sorry.
are listening. Roll call,
I
please.
guess not.
Mr. Bova?
Yes.
Mr. Fry?
Yes.
Mr. Kester?
Yes.
Mrs. Stark?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
I'd like to recommend for approval grant program applications. You have Special Ed, Part B, IDEA, Improving Teacher Quality, Targeting Assistance, Title I, Race to the Top. That should be Race to the Top par, AP, Early Literacy and Reading Readiness. You have the comparisons of those totals to the right there. And those are the ones that we're recommending are for 13 and 14.
On the recommendation of the superintendent, I entertain a motion to approve the grant program applications for 2013-14.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Questions? Do you have any comments about these?
The additional one is the Early Literacy Reading Readiness Grant that we received in the spring. The others are just adjustments in the budgeting over time. You'll notice special education, IDEA, not a big difference there. A lot of these are funded federally or state level.
Is that some of the money that will be used for the early literacy person we've hired?
No.
It's
no,
from a
this is
different
for-
federal fund?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Bova?
Yes.
Mr. Fry?
Yes.
Mr. Kester?
Yes.
Mrs. Stark?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Also like to recommend and approve supplemental contracts for additional administrative duties for both curricular and extracurricular activities in the amount of $73.80 each for John Tullio and Mike Moldavon, high school principal and assistant principal.
On the recommendation of the superintendent, I would like a motion to approve supplemental contracts for John Tullio and Mike Monavan.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Questions or comments?
So one of these people have to be at every event.
That's correct.
Is this changed from last year?
No change at all, no increase whatsoever.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Bova?
Yes.
Mr. Fry?
Yes.
Mr. Kester?
Yes.
Mrs. Stark?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Like
Question,
to-
have we pretty much locked up all of the fall supplementals now with regard to everything?
Fall and
Hiring?
winter supplementals are taken care of. Spring, we're finalizing some paperwork. You should see that in August.
But there's no, will there be anything else to come like these? Just curious. Are
More
they
than
all
likely
pretty
not.
much
We
wrapped
might
up?
see some additional volunteers
Yeah,
that might step forward, but contracted positions
okay.
are just about to.
Well, we set a deadline, right?
We did set a deadline for the start of the school year, yes,
Right.
for the
Okay.
entire year.
Well, there you go.
We're
Well,
2/3 of the way there.
They don't need their sports coaching thing to do what they're going to do.
No, I'm saying, but we just set a deadline. So it's a
Yes, we
deadline.
did have a goal, and we're 2/3 of the way there.
Thank you for your recall.
You're welcome.
Couldn't remember whether I did a motion, but you can remember that.
Long-term memory is great.
Approve student parent handbooks.
So we need a roll call.
We need a roll.
Well, any comments, question? I'd like a motion.
So moved.
Thank you.
Need a second.
No, I motion, Lee seconded.
We need a roll call.
Okay, there you go.
Wait.
So I didn't hear you.
We need a roll call for
I
that.
thought we did that.
I thought we did.
Yeah, we did.
We're
You
on
answered yes.
approved
Student parent handbooks.
student parent handbooks.
Okay, it's too hot, everybody's mind's going a little goofy. Mr. Bova, it was your job to memorize these. Did you have any questions?
No, I see that there are a lot of changes in the middle school, and probably very necessary. My only comment is that I hope next year that all the schools get together and really go through this with a fine-tooth comb and make sure the policy is uniform throughout the system rather than one school having a certain policy and another school having a different policy.
We are also along those lines. We're trying to. We are going to have all open houses in each of the buildings prior to the start of school. And we're going to promote the student-parent handbooks prior to the start of school that way as well, to try to make sure that our parents are aware.
Do all of these conform with the latest standards and policies? Thank you. Roll call, please. She was a motion and he seconded. Didn't you?
No.
No.
All right.
So moved. Lee, you want a second?
Second.
There you go.
I know that was
Roll call.
audience participation.
Mr. Bova?
Yes.
Mr. Fry?
Yes.
Mr. Kessler?
Yes.
Mrs. Stern?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
I'd like to recommend to approve a special board meeting next Thursday, July 25th, 7 a.m., if possible.
And I think everybody was aware of the possibility of this meeting. Is everybody still available at that time and date? No problems? Okay, motion to approve, pardon me? You want to make the motion? Go ahead.
Sure.
Or we're all
So
listening.
moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Bova?
Yes.
Mr. Fry?
Yes.
Mr. Kessler?
Yes.
Mrs. Stern?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes, I think that's complete.
I'd like to recommend to accept the donations as per the enclosed list, if we can move that up. That's your exhibit number 5. Get that finished.
Okay, do you want to read them or just accept them as a unit? Okay. Ask for a motion to accept the donations as per the list.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Questions, comments? Mrs. Kessler?
Mr. Bova?
Yes.
Mr. Fry?
Yes.
Mr. Kessler?
Yes.
Mrs. Stern?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes. Okay. Business manager?
Yes, great.
Did you accept the new pizza supplier?
Pizza and all food bids are pretty much taken care of.
How'd you do that without us?
We did it with students.
Oh.
Sorry. But what I want to talk about today is what you see on the back wall. We've been talking about this for a long time. And I am so happy to have Vicki here with us today, because Vicki and the staff and the students work very, very hard for a big piece of what you see up here. On Tuesday of last week, we opened bids for this paving project straight across the street, paving that area and the bus garage area, and also the student drop-off and the walking track. And Vicki, through the support of the students and collecting of cans and winning contests, has been able to donate part of the money that will be needed to do this project. And I was going to say it was around $22,000, but it was $21,000, help me Vicki, $850 is what they actually have put towards the walking track. And remember, we talked about, this is Edwards, we're going to have parents coming in here. This is about a 20-foot wide piece of blacktop.
Which is Edwards again, sorry?
This is Edwards along here.
All right.
They'll be coming in where the gate is now. There's currently a gate here. They'll be coming in. This will be a drop-off and a pickup area. Then they will go back out Edwards and go that direction. The students will be funneling in probably just this door, but we put access to 2 doors. This goes to the 5th and 6th grade area. This goes more to the 7th and 8th grade area. But then the walking track will be on the inside of this, and then this area here will be grass seeded. But it will be a rubberized track, which is what they work very hard for. This will be the blacktop area, but this will be a rubberized track for about 6 people to be able to walk in at one time. Okay?
Is that lane wide enough for 2 cars?
2 cars, 20 foot. It's about the distance of a regular road, right, Lee? What's that? 20 foot, I think, is about the distance of 26, I think, isn't it? 26. Going to be enough to get us around. To be able to have 1 car parked, the other ones to get out then, and to go around.
This will be the drop-off. What about the drop-off that's on that side of the school? That lane there?
The drop-off will continue to be over there, Phil, in the morning on the alley. Continue to be there. There will be no drop-off or pickup in the front of this building. None.
nor in the circle other than the buses dropping students off. That will not be available for parents. This is it. A lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort, a lot of thought. Finally, this has come to fruition, the track and some solution to what you all have seen out here in the afternoons and
Are you
in the
going
mornings.
to line the track?
Pardon me?
Are they going to line the track, or is
The
this
track
just
will
a-
not be lined.
Okay.
It will
I'm
not
just
be a
curious.
running track of any kind. It'll be a walking track. It'll
Okay.
be an exercise track is all this track will be.
Will you be effectively having two-way traffic on that top part? In other words, are cars still going to go down the side of the building?
Cars will go down the alley to
Yeah.
drop off, to drop off in the morning. They can go down the alley.
Okay, are they going to come around that track in the morning also?
Yes, they'll come in here, drop off, go back out.
So you'll have two-way traffic at that top end?
There is one-way traffic here.
No,
Is
I
that what
didn't
you mean?
Where-
On the road proper.
Here's the alley, right?
No.
Where's the alley?
It's a way to go.
The alley would be, the existing building is here, so the alley is going to be up here.
Oh.
This is the football field right there, so the alley is going to be
Oh,
up here.
I
So they
see.
will still be
Okay.
able to go
So this
through
is
there.
simply the older part. It doesn't go around the football field.
It does not go
No.
around the football field.
Oh.
Behind the playground.
All right.
It's the current, where the location of the current track, cinder track. that's back.
Okay. That was confusing.
Vicki, anything you would like to say? We certainly want to congratulate you for the hard work and the leadership that you put in to making this come true. This has been probably, is it 4 years, 5 years?
No, it's longer.
What has
That's
it
the
been?
question I want to ask. It's been since, was it Maggie, was Maggie your first year or the second year?
Maggie was not, Mr. Kessner, I had Carson the first year we started.
Kyle. Yeah, it
Kyle,
would've
no,
been Kyle.
not Kyle.
Yeah, because
Carson.
Maggie did it. And Carson, yeah. So it's Maggie's year. She graduated.
Sorry, I thought it was like
last year.
2006, 2005.
Yeah, no, I
2006
remember
we
collecting the cans, so.
Do you know how much of this is carbonated beverage right here?
started. Do you want that broken down into
No.
adult and non-adult?
Hey, how much did you end
Shut
up?
up, huh? Go.
How much did you end up raising altogether with the kids and the cans?
Well, the original total we were given was 20,000, and the year we hit that, they upped it to 21,850. So we got there last year. I don't know how much we got this year because with my new position, I'm no longer, like, I don't get the checks and things anymore. So
Do we still have a can coordinator?
we do.
Okay.
They're limited, but bring cans I put on the sign, and they are collecting the cans and putting them in the bus garage. We got, okay to do that.
That's amazing.
Well, you did an awesome job. And it's because of you this was possible, so.
Thank you.
Sincerely, thank you, Mrs. Ivey. I know how much work and time you put into it.
Thank you. Thanks for your help.
With that being said, the other part of this, and another large part of it again, is the parking lot over here and the additional spaces down in the green space that you see directly down through. That'll give us probably about 30 or 40 parking spaces. This combination of parking may change. We did some thinking about this, and this may change, but altogether, it's going to be close to what we have here. I think there are 27, this is my math person, Patty, 27 on a side. So how many does that give us all together?
times 3, 12.
162.
Yeah, right around there. So that'll be an improvement. Also, there will be bus spots or bus markings that are better than what we have over there now. And again, the blacktop will go back and cover the area all the way to the garage areas so that we get rid of that gravel and the possibility of bus drivers falling because of craters over there.
Is this one project or two?
It's one project. That's what you see on here. MS Consultants have been involved in the beginning of this, and you can see all of the quotes that we had. You can see where these folks are from. You can see the lowest bidder is really an Akron group. We did some research on them, and they seem very confident. They've had a number of nice projects completed. There is no reason for us to be concerned about the quality of their work or them hopefully getting it done. The time for them to have it done is the 27th of August. It needs to be done before school starts. We will be meeting with them on Friday to go over preliminary information, and if the board approves this tonight, hopefully sign a contract so that we can get started. They're telling me they want to start come Monday morning, so that's a good thing for us. Get it going and get it done. Questions?
What's the total cost of the project, including the track, even though the kids provided that?
$327,357. That's the total
Can I add
bid.
that this will be out of permanent improvement funds,
That'll be
correct?
permanent improvement. Good point, Adrian. Good point.
Would you please?
Minus the 21,000 or so.
Would you explain to our audience and to the newspapers about public improvement or permanent improvement?
Yeah, permanent improvement, the community voted to have, what's it, 1%, Patty? 1 mil. And that generates about $500,000 a year to go towards permanent improvement. Now, permanent improvement type of items are items that have a lifespan of 5 years or more. You can't spend it on any services, hiring teachers, anything like that. But anything that has a lifespan, equipment, improvements to the building, roofing, anything like that would be permanent improvement funds that would go towards that money that has been set aside for that. And this is one of the bigger projects that we've used permanent improvement monies on. You know, certainly another big item that we have yearly is roofs and getting roofs in order. But this is a big project, and we spent a lot of time on it.
Excuse me. Why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
We're doing the track because we promised the track, and the kids spent a lot of time and effort to do that. We're doing the rest of this for one reason only in our minds, and that's safety of our children. Safety of our children. This drop-off and pickup area should be much, much, much safer than what we're doing today when we're picking kids up and dropping kids off in the front of this building. If you're ever here in the morning at 7:30 or here in the afternoon at 2:40, this area out here is very busy. We've got kids crossing streets, we've got cars going both ways up and down Wadsworth. I sit in my office or I'm out on the street directing traffic, and I'm very, very nervous that one of these days someone was going to get hurt. We've been thinking about this for years and years, and we've finally been able to put enough money together and the idea together to do this. But Phil, it's for one reason only as far as I'm concerned, and it's the safety of our kids.
Have you had discussions with the police on this?
They're in favor of this. They have been trying to brainstorm with us ways, and this was part of their brainstorming with us. They desperately wanted this. We've thought of everything. We've thought of making this a one-way street. We've thought of a number of different things, but the money is a lot of money. But again, what's the safety of kids worth? It's worth a lot. And that's the real purpose for this project. Alex, anything else?
Just one thing. Parents are still going to have to, and I hate to say it this way, but get trained in drop off and pick up out here, because there's going to be a line and there's going to be frustration. And the youngster's going to forget something in their locker, and that parent's going to be in front of the line, and they're going to have to run back, and there's going to be 50 cars behind them, and people are going to get frustrated to try to go around. People are just going to have to learn it's going to take a period of time to get used to dismissal. And that's going to have to be discussed with the
But
parents.
that's all on one side. It's all on one side for the most part.
Brian, that's a good point. As you see this, the students are only going to be getting into their parents' car next to the side.
Hopefully.
Right.
But if you're out here, you get kids going across the street because you have cross traffic.
Correct.
It's a nightmare.
How are you going to educate the parents? Are you going to do it through mailings in the beginning?
We'll put out mailings, we'll put it on the internet, put it on the website.
Open house?
Discussion in an open house.
And we will have the support of the police, as we always have had in the beginning of school, to help monitor out here and help train our parents to do what they need to be doing for the safety of the kids.
but it is greatly needed and it will be much needed improvement. Much needed.
Any other questions or comments for Mr. Archer regarding this issue?
First of all, I knew what the answer was, because I spent a year down here and I cringed at the kids going between buses and across the street, and it was just a matter of time that someone got injured, so thank you very much for getting this done. One question about the parking lot. Have we contacted the city about them maybe sharing in the cost of that, since they will be using it?
Well, the city has their own section of that parking area. And if you walk down there, you will see where their section is, because their section has been re-blacktopped after this has been blacktopped. So they have their own section, and we have our own section. And although there could be some spin-off, to be very honest with you, there will be more parking, but we will be using it. If you've ever been here for an activity, there's never enough parking. But we've had discussions with the project that we're doing. We've received their blessing to do it, especially expansion down there on that grass area. So, we certainly want to share, but this is something that's much needed. It'll give us more parking.
Would you like a motion for
Yes,
that
sir.
amount of money?
Motion to accept the bids from the company there for the $327,357.
To be taken from capital improvement?
Permanent
and
improvement.
Where is Mrs. Latimer's money residing?
Mrs. Latimer's money is in the principal's fund at this point in time, but it will be pulled out to reduce this number. But this number is the number that we need to use as far as the motion is concerned.
The recommendation of the business manager, I will accept a motion to approve the construction of our student drop-off and walking track and the resurfacing and improvement of the CVMS parking lot to Barbicus Construction for a total bid of $327,357 to be taken from the capital improvement fund.
So moved.
Second.
Could you repeat that?
No. I'll play it back on the tape for you. Any other comments, questions?
I have one.
Yes.
And I've already talked to you guys about it. I would hope Friday you would get a fine for every day late.
Yeah.
I just don't see it getting done on time without a fine for every day late. I'm just telling you this from being over there for 16 years.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I think it's appropriate for you to be the board representative.
I won't be here Friday.
I don't care, you can be here next week.
We will work with them in getting that, if we possibly can, into the contract and go forward.
Okay.
I was really excited about hearing them wanting to get started as early as Monday. They seem to want to get this done and out of the way. Now, understand, just for another quick comment, there will be disruptions that will be going on. We've got Little Cardinals, we've got a lot of activity that goes on back here, and we will be contacting them to make sure they understand that there will be some disruption, and we may have to use alternate ways to get back into the main football field in order for them to practice.
A lot of that.
Yeah.
But they'll be roping it off and doing all the things that they need to do.
Fencing it.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. Mrs. Kestner?
Mr. Bova?
Yes.
Mr. Frye?
Yes.
Mr. Kestner?
Yes.
Mrs. Stark?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes. I would defer to you as to the final sequence. We have a presentation from the Gridiron Club, and we have your report.
I'd like to make a couple statements for a report first.
I'm sorry. Do you have anything else? I apologize.
That's all right.
I think we're good there.
Okay.
We have already begun the process of starting our committees. Part of our strategic planning, we have dates that those committees need to get underway. Technology committee has met. We're meeting again in 2 weeks. There's a survey that's going out to the staff to see the needs of the staff for instructional purposes. And we're expecting those returns by next week. We're going to evaluate those, but we're trying to continue to look at on the improvements that are needed technology-wise and the goals set there. Fiscal committee has met on a couple occasions, and Mrs. Stern might want to touch base here and add to the conversation. But
folks wanted to come here tonight, but they were unable to come, and wanted to make a recommendation that, looking at the revenue that's being brought into the district, looking at the expenditures in the district, we've really curtailed expenses, and through attrition have reduced the amount of monies that are spent, expending $100,000 more than we're bringing in deficit spending. And as Mrs. Kessler mentioned, the desire and the need for the strategic plan goal is to not be in deficit spending over a 5-year period. After evaluating many different areas and many needs of the district, and wanting to see growth and wanting to continue to have the course offerings and what's been offered to our youngsters, additional revenues needed to maintain and to continue to grow as a district. And the fiscal committee wanted to make a recommendation, and the revenue stream that needed to be offered and the options that were on the table, taxation is the way to go. And that was going to be the recommendation of the committee to the board. And they wanted me to carry that on. Mrs. Stern?
That is the recommendation of the financial committee. The bottom line is we've done a great job with support of our staff and taking some freezes over the years. You know, we have not been successful in our past levies. However, through a lot of hard work on everyone's part, we've done a great job of slowing that bleed. However, we are still bleeding and we're deficit spending. So it is the financial committee's recommendation that the board consider putting a levy on the ballot from November. And that's something that the board needs to take some time to consider and
We
do
have
some
had
research and
these kind of discussions over the last couple of years, but you have some pretty high-powered people in that fiscal committee. They
Some great minds.
Wonderful.
Just dedicated, passionate, wanting to see our district continue to grow. And that's the message that they want to continue to send. They want our students, as they walk across the stage, to be able to compete in any avenue that they choose. And if we're going to continue to grow as a district and continue to have course offerings and continue to look to grow in many different areas, additional revenue is going to be there.
You will be providing appropriate information for us to take a look at?
Yes.
And what is the time frame, should we decide to put this on in November, what is the time frame to get that done, Mrs. Kessler?
Second reading by August 7th. The filing for elections by August 7th.
And according to you guys, we have enough time to do that?
We do. We can definitely have this conversation at our special board meeting next week, and it is open.
Okay. All right, I don't think we need to take any action on that, other than
Digest.
I'd like to get some maybe additional input from some of the folks on the financial committee. You can certainly bring that to us, since you've been there. But will you get us information then prior to next Thursday's meeting?
Sure.
Okay.
I can speak possibly so they try to review.
There were many different areas that we took a look at as a committee. The need for additional technology, the need to ramp up and continue to take a look at security needs throughout the district. Course offerings, again, it was discussed, it would be very nice to support and help our parents out, the possibility of removing pay to participate. So there are different areas that we would like to take a look at. Again, continue to grow, and definitely not look at it as a negative type of a conversation.
Well, I'd like to say right now, should we decide to do this, that I would like this to be very open, very full of information that can be shared with the community, the whys and the wherefores. You always hear things like, well, why didn't you put it on last year? You must have had enough money. Well, I know that we've done a lot with attrition. We knocked out top salaries and brought in, you just did that tonight, 2 starting salaries again. So I just want to encourage all of us to do as much as we can to get every piece of information out about this, and also show the amount of effort that the board and the administration have taken over the last 4 years to reduce the existing costs.
Craig, and I would just like to add administration, board, and staff.
Obviously,
Staff
of course, yeah.
has participated
Yes.
in that.
Absolutely. And I know there'll be an integral part of the whole discussion as well. I apologize. Okay.
If I could just make one more comment.
Yes, please.
Nobody mentioned that in looking at new revenue, there's always the state side, and the state just came out with their budget, and we have 2 years of no increases, so
I'm sorry, what was that?
there are no increases going to be provided by the state for the next 2 years of the next biennial budget, so.
That's
No-
for our schools.
That's for our schools.
That's not what the headline said.
And knowing the
That's the
state, then,
headlines in
how much
Canfield.
are
That's
we
the
going to
headlines
be
in
reduced,
Canfield.
even though they say there's no increases? Are there reductions in there somewhere that we can't see?
Probably not yet. We'll have to see how that formula pans out, but I think it'll be a true flat line for next year at least.
There are, well, we can have this done.
Oh, no, please.
Not now.
It's all right.
It's my phone, so, yeah.
Do you have other items that,
That's it. We can move to another presentation.
okay? Mr. Rogers?
Do I need to state my name and address?
If you'd like.
Well, it's up to you. Last time you made me do it.
I know who you are.
Okay, well, everybody else knew who I was too. For the record, Keith Rogers, 8121 Blue Heron Drive. I am the president of the Canfield Gridiron Club, and I'd like to read a formal proposal that was given to the Gridiron from a Gridiron member. Mr. John Anacini, a member of the Canfield Gridiron, has approached the board and made a generous offer to build a concession stand for the start of the 2013 football season. John and his company will provide and design, permit, the manpower and funding to complete this project from the start to finish at no cost to the Canfield schools. The estimate cost of the project is approximately $50,000 to $65,000. Commencement of the project will start immediate after approval of the board, with a completion date by August 31st, 2013. The concession stand will be equipped with grills, warmers, coolers, sinks, cabinetry, etc., and an outside sitting area with a canopy. Canfield Gridiron will supply the manpower to work the concession, with all proceeds from the new concession will go to the Canfield Gridiron Club. We, the board of the Canfield Gridiron, feel that this is a very generous offer and will not only benefit the appearance of the stadium and facility, but also benefit the student athletes involved in the football program for years to come. As with all private donations, obviously, time is of the essence, and please advise us of the next step for this process. I gave everybody a copy of this so you could read it at your leisure. We also gave you a copy of 2 of our meeting minutes from March and May. I didn't have the April because my secretary wasn't at that meeting. She's sitting back there so I can tease her a little bit. I also gave you another copy of the drawings from the last time I was in. Didn't know if you guys had made paper airplanes and threw them at each other or not. But we would appreciate if you actually seriously look into this. I know that there is some type of agreement that was signed between the Board of Education and the band dated back. This is a revised copy from 1996. But from discussion with certain board members, they have told me that it is up to the board to make up their mind because it is property of Canfield. So what should we do next? I know you're going to have to go into executive session because you were notified in advance.
Just for the record, because we were contacted by an attorney, we are no longer permitted by policy to discuss this with you at this point.
I understand.
Ask questions or anything. So we will be going into executive session to discuss a couple of issues, of which this is one of them.
Okay, and to let everybody know, there was some public records request. 2 of them came from the Gridiron, and the rest came from Mr. Anacini. They've already been given to Mr. Archer, so a reasonable amount of time. We'd appreciate the answers to those. Okay?
Mr. Archer, you have that?
I do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you have any other issues? Mr. Archer? Board, anybody? No, then I recommend that we go into executive session to discuss an issue that has legal ramifications. Thank you. Second?
Second.
Mrs. Kessler?
Mr. Bowman?
Yes.
Mr. Fry?
Yes.
Mr. Kestner?
Yes.
Mrs. Stern? Yes. Mr. Olson?
Yes. And we must ask you to leave. You're welcome to wait around. outside if you like. I have no idea how long this will be, but we must,
I know.
either we have to leave or you have to leave. So.
Well, we're kind of comfortable. I mean, it's nice and cool in here.
Yeah, isn't it nice? Let's go.